You ever been on the edge of a breakthrough? About to get in the best shape of your life, build that business that you wanted, fix that relationship that's terrible, and suddenly you pull back. You ghost the gym, you quit early, you tell yourself it wasn't meant to be. That's not laziness, that's not fear, that's self sabotage. And today, we're going to war with it. Welcome back to the Marcus Allgood Show. I appreciate everybody listening and sharing the show. And today we are talking about self-sabotage and how we can help ourselves from not doing it. And just to be clear, like, we all do it. Like, if you say you don't self-sabotage, you're lying to yourself and you're lying to your friends and you're lying to your family. We all do it. So let's get into what self-sabotage is. Self-sabotage is when you become your own biggest obstacle. Is doing things that directly go against the goals you say or you want to do. It's skipping the workout after you promise yourself you'd show up. It's ghosting an opportunity that could change your life. It's staying in a toxic pattern or relationship because it's familiar, even though it's killing your potential. Here's the truth. Self-sabotage isn't weakness. It's protection. You're trying to keep yourself safe. It's a defense mechanism your mind creates to avoid fear, rejection, disappointment, or pain. You're not lazy, you're scared, and your brain is choosing comfort over growth. And we all get to that point where your mind is trying to protect you and say, no, just stay right here. It's going to be okay. It's not going to be okay. You're never going to grow. You're never going to get better. You're never going to reach out, call that girl or call that boy or call that guy, call that girl and lady. And it's just one of those things that you hold yourself back from the potential that you could be. You're going to have more what ifs than anything else if you don't just figure out this self-sabotage thing and just go for what you need to and go for what you want. And it's definitely more common than you think because of the fact that most people are fighting battles internally that no one sees. Their mind's telling them no. They're a lot of times they're telling themselves yes and they're telling themselves no at the same time. And it's just one of those things that if you don't see it in yourself and you're doing it, it's going to be hard to get out of. So a lot of it's going to be you doubt your worth. You're just saying, oh, I'm terrible. I'm not worth that. I'm not that good. All sorts of different things. You minimize your dreams. You come out with this big dream and you're like, oh, I can never do that. And you just brush it off and move on and go for this little tiny dream of, making it down the street for the next day. You set goals that we secretly don't believe we can reach. And I set goals that I secretly believe that I can't reach, but I hope to get to them or get close to them, but you got to go towards them to get rid of that self-sabotage. You build patterns of hesitation and avoidance without even knowing it. We've all done that. I still do it. I try to become the best realtor, or I try and become the best entrepreneur or business owner that I can. And then I tell myself, oh, there's somebody out there better than you, or you're just not doing it right, or I just don't know what to do anymore. And then you just start beating yourself up over it. And since we're so good at looking fine on the outside, no one ever calls it out. But inside, we're shrinking, we're hesitating, we're hiding the truth. And we're hesitating, hiding. The truth is, everybody has moments where they pull back from everything they want the most of. And it's just one of those things that if you're not going forward, you're holding yourself back. And that's what you call self-sabotage. And it's more common than anyone wants to admit. We all are doing it. But how many people actually tell you when you walk up to them and be like, oh, how you doing today? And they're like, oh, great. How many people actually tell you the truth? Like, saying, well, I was going to open this business next week, but I decided not to. I just don't think I'm good enough to be able to do it. Nobody tells you that kind of thing. It should be more normalized. That way we can help each other out and talk through it, figure out what it's going to take to jump over that mental block. And a few ways to break the pattern is start with radical self-awareness and bold action. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to call it what it is. Don't sugarcoat it. Say, I'm standing in my own way. This is sabotage, not circumstances. And you're going to get out of your way. And you're going to push past yourself saying that I'm not good enough, or I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to let myself down and not do it at all. Ask better questions. What am I afraid of that's actually going to work? What part of me doesn't believe I'm worthy of this? Fear is usually at the root. Once you name it, you can face it. Fear is made up in your mind. So a lot of times you're just coming up with excuses that you just don't want the answers to. So you gotta ask the right questions. You gotta put yourself out there, and you gotta just go for it. You gotta create small wins daily, and we talk about this on the podcast often. Don't wait for big breakthroughs. Just take the small little wins. If you're a little bit closer to that goal, you're making it happen. Did you just get out of your comfort zone for a minute? You're making it happen. Prove to yourself day by day that you can show up, follow through, and finish. Discipline builds confidence. Confidence kills sabotage. Every morning I try and self-sabotage myself, telling myself that I don't want to get up today. This morning I was supposed to go run a bunch of sprints and then do a 40-minute bike ride afterwards, and I said I could probably just do it later on in the afternoon, knowing that it's probably going to rain most of the day, and I should just get up at 4 o'clock and just go for it. And I woke up at 4:02, and I said, man, I could just go back to bed. I should sleep for another hour, but I had things to do. And so I got up, kept my promise that I was getting up at 4. I told myself the night before I was going to get up at 4, kept the promise, followed through with it. And you know what? No self-sabotage there, and I feel like a great person right now. It feels good to be able to come do the podcast and not have to go do the runs in the middle of the afternoon. Get some more stuff done around the house too. And then you got to surround yourself with growth. Get around people who challenge you and let you and won't let you settle. The people that don't believe in your dream are not the people you need to hang around. If you tell somebody a ridiculous dream or a ridiculous goal and they say you'll never hit it, probably don't need to be around them. So go after what you got. Find the people that are looking to do the same thing, looking after that big goal, and go hang around them. Upgrade your environment, inputs, and your energy. And just pretty much what I just talked about. Find the people that will energize you and not suck that wind out of you. And then another one is, I always talk about this, anchor to your why. So the why I'm getting out of bed right now to go work out and do all these runs is because I signed up for a High Rocks Challenge I talked about last week. And it doesn't always have to be that, but I still, after that race, my why is going to be because I want to be fit for my kids and fit for my wife. And so you got to remember who you're doing this for, your family, your future, your freedom. You start fighting with a different kind of fire. Once you do that, like my fire is always driven by my family and myself, of course, and just being a better person overall in general to anybody out there that needs it. So when I show up to go hang out with people, you know, they're going to ask questions. They're going to look at me and say, oh, wow, he's fit. Like, let me see what he's doing that I'm not doing to try and really change what I need to in my life to get to where he's at maybe. And that's kind of like the thing that I want to definitely portray to people. And one thing that you got to realize that it's not just lazy or lack of willpower. It's often just a coping mechanism to, for deeper fears like the fear of success, fear of failure, feel of unworthiness, past trauma, conditioning, identity wounds. And it's just one of those things that I almost think that I drank so much. I was kind of thinking about it the other day, and I self-sabotaged myself big time when I was pretty much like 16, 17 when I started drinking in the very beginning. I got that first taste, and I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. And I was already hurt by other people before then. And I think once I really got into drinking a lot, I was into how many people can I hurt? And because I was hurt when I was younger, so I want to hurt people and hurt people's feelings without having any, thoughts or consequences about it. Of course, there was lots of consequences. I just didn't care about it because I was just drinking so much. So a lot of that comes from, self-sabotage yourself because of the past trauma that you had. So you really got to recognize, is this trauma really in me, or is it something I could push past and not self-sabotage myself? And so some of the examples, if you want to know what self-sabotage is do you start strong and never finish? There's all sorts of people that do that. They'll start a project and then next thing you know, it's ended up in the garage or sitting in the bedroom. The kitchen sink's not even complete. A lot of that. That's super self-sabotage. You usually get to the point where I can't finish it anymore. Do you overthink, delay, or avoid action when it really counts? We've all been guilty of that. You just have to make the decision to go for it. Just quit overthinking it. Do you downplay your goals to stay comfortable and liked? A lot of people do that. They will hold themselves back so their friends, so-called friends that they're hanging out with, will still like them and still hang out with them. Do you keep toxic relationships that keep you playing small? Kick those toxic relationships out of there. I don't care if it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, friend. Get rid of them. Do you say you want more to do but create less? A lot of people say, I want to do this, but then they end up doing a whole lot less. It's just one of those things that if you say you're going to do it, set the example to yourself and actually do it. And then some ways to break the pattern are going to be awareness is the first step. You got to recognize that you're self-sabotaging yourself. And a lot of times it's hard to figure that out, to know that you're in that self-sabotage mode until you've listened to a podcast or until you read a book to figure out, like, oh, man, I am doing that. You can ask yourself, what am I afraid of right now? You got to rewrite your identity. Start by saying, I'm the kind of person who finishes. I'm the kind of person that works out. I'm the kind of person that gets up. I fulfill my goals. I fulfill the challenges that I commit to myself. You got to create the daily wins that reinforce this belief. Mine are, getting up when I say I'm going to get up. Every time I win that battle, I'm super excited for the day. I won the day already, and the rest of it's just gravy after that. Discomfort is the door. Train yourself to lean in when it gets hard, emotionally, physically, and mentally. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. Environment check. Audit the people that you hang out with. Audit the habits and the media around you. Get around people who challenge you and call you higher. If you hang around 5 smokers, you're going to be the 6th smoker. If you hang around 5 losers, you're going to be the 6th loser. It's just the way it goes. You bring yourself down to the people you hang out with. If you have higher goals and you hang out with people that don't have goals, you're going to bring yourself down to having no goals and being in a bad position. Have a bigger mission than fear. Your why has to be louder than your doubt. Your kids, your legacy, your freedom. That's what you fight for. I fight for my kids, my family, my wife, and just the people around me that count on me daily to show up and to let them know that it is possible to work out, run a business, have 2 businesses, and make it through the day, eat right, do your meal prep, take care of your kids, take care of the wife. You can get it all done with 24 hours. It just depends on how much you want it. Self-sabotage isn't the end. It's a test. It's the final boss before the next level. And when you stop playing small, stop doubting your worth, and start showing up like you were built for this, that's when everything changes. The war within is the most important one you'll ever fight. But you got what it takes. You're not broken. You're becoming. That's the pod, and I appreciate everybody. And thank you. Share this if you got any value out of it. And I'll see you on the next one.